What's the good word, gentlemen, viewers out there? It's your boy Hated. You already knew that because you're here. We are here to talk about the latest episode of Koutetsujou no Kabaneri. This is episode 8. So, you know the business. We're just going to go right into it. This was a huge improvement over the last episode. Not just in terms of the quality of the story and how much is revealed, and we get so much more about these characters and what's happening in the series in this episode. This is an anchoring episode. Like, this is an episode you have to see if you're watching this series. It starts right off where the last episode ended. Again, continuing the theme of a train where everything is connected. It literally starts where the last episode left off. We see these new people, the liberators, as some people are calling them, and their leader, whose name is Biba, I believe. People were yelling out, Biba-sama. He's seen as a savior. These cats were treating this dude like he was Jesus. No BS. They arrive at the station, which I find out, I assumed that this station was Kokokana, and it's not. So, but it does make sense, because this station seems literally to only have food and fueling. I guess it's a fueling and food and fueling station. It's not a main station where people were conducting research on Kabaneri and all of that. The liberators themselves are an interesting bunch. They all seem to be very talented, all very skilled fighters, which is to be expected of a force of people whose job it is to go out and take back land overtaken by Kabaneri so people can move back there. They're literally a force to be reckoned with. They're the force for the people to get land back for them in this battle against the Kabaneri. You would naturally assume that Ikoma would be all about it, right? Because Ikoma's mantra now, his mission, is to end the Kabaneri virus or curse, depending on what you believe it is, and save people, get people back to their homes. And here it is, a force of people that are already doing that, but for different reasons. And that's why this show is so good. For different reasons, he has to be suspicious of them. He remembers the conversations he had with Mumei about her brother. Her brother is revealed to be the Biba person, so he identifies him as a huge source of her misery. But Mumei doesn't see him as that. Mumei sees Biba as a source of strength. Biba is the person who saved her, who gave her an opportunity to truly become strong so she can live. But the problem is that he's embedded the mantra into her head that Ikoma disbelieves, obviously, that it is the strong that deserve to live. Only the strong live, the weak die. Personally, I'm in the middle of it, because I see where Ikoma's coming from, where it's everyone has the right to live, right? Everyone is born with the right to live. That's one of the few basic rights that's universal. I don't care who you are. I don't care what species you are. Whether you're born, you have the right to live. But at the same point in time, nature itself has laws. And in the laws of nature, the strong survive. It's survival of the fittest. I can see both sides. But in all honesty, the mantra of the strong live, the weak die, I can't really disagree with. But the main character is disagreeing with that. He wants to fight for the weak. But, look at Ikoma's character. He's surviving because he's strong, which is something Mumei actually told him, and he's struggling with that. He's a strong person. He saw an issue in front of him, and he researched it. He tried to come up with solutions for it. And when presented with the opportunity, when he was actually bitten by a Kabaneri, he didn't just pack it in and give up. He fought against it, literally, and conducted an operation on himself to save himself, and that's what made him a Kabaneri that he is now. And as a Kabaneri, he's still fighting. He's literally fighting the force that is oppressing everyone, that's killing everyone. He is not a weak person. Ikoma's a strong person. He may not see that in himself yet, but he is. And even if he wants to fight for other people, that's the mantra he chose for himself, and that's fine, but he's still a strong person. He identifies Biba as a person who is responsible directly for Mumei being the way Mumei is, where you can see glimmers of humanity in her and the niceness, the nice girl that she is, but they don't last very long because of the fact that she is a Kabaneri, because of the fact that B, she was raised by this person, by this man, to be the person that she is, and C, she believes these things about the way the world works, and Ikoma assumes that those were fed directly to her from Biba. I can see now the conflict between Ikoma and Biba. We also get a lot more information about what's going on. And what I mean by this, the blade that Koutetsujou has now that Ikoma made for him, there's something there, because Biba has a blade that is very similar to it. It's not a katana, it's a different type of blade, I forgot the term. He has a weird blade that has the same carvings as Ikoma's blade that he gave the Kurusu. I believe it's made the same way. You're starting to see that there's a lot of mirroring between Akoma and the ideas he's coming up with, and even the idea of what he did to stop himself from becoming Kabaneri, and what the liberators are doing. In fact, Mumei, when she approaches Biba and tells Biba about Akoma, she says that Akoma conducted the operation on himself. And I'm like, wait, what operation? Is there a name for this operation? What is the step-by-step procedures? Because the operation that they alluded to Mumei undergoing, it didn't look anything like what Akoma went through. So maybe there's different operations? Who knows? Perhaps that operation is why she has a limiter that she has to deal with, whereas Akoma does not. We actually see another Kabaneri in this episode, which is huge. That's huge for this series. It was another female Kabaneri that was, I mean, she was basically just like Mumei, except she's older, so I assume she's probably stronger. And her and Mumei pair up. You got to see the action sequence there. The action sequences in this were pretty cool. And their fight, their duo was very potent. We see a new class of Kabaneri, and we hadn't seen one actually since the Wazatori, even though I kind of suspect that we have. The Kabaneri that Mumei fought and lost to when they were trying to leave the other station against the colony. It was Wazatori-like, but it didn't have weapons, and I could swear that Wazatori always had weapons. So maybe there's another class that's a fighter without weapons that's just really proficient at hand-to-hand fighting. It's weird. It's like a small colony. I wouldn't say a colony, because when you think colony, you're gonna think of what you saw in the last 2 episodes. The huge one where it's like hundreds, maybe thousands of companies. No, this one is like maybe 4, 5 Kabaneri. And what it does is it uses Kabaneri to shield itself, and it uses Kabaneri as weapons. It literally throws Kabaneri at people, which is weird. That's what Mumei and the other Kabaneri fight. Mumei's original mission is revealed in this episode as well. Even I kind of forgot about it until it was mentioned in this episode. When Mumei is first revealed, and she comes to the city in the first episode with that partner, who she told in the last episode Chugube passed. But he died honorably, which means, you know, he used a suicide bag, and he died getting Mumei to where she needed to be to get the mission done, which is, I suppose, dying honorably. When she was in that episode, her and that man were talking about a mission. And then a couple episodes after that, when she meets the guy that was outcast by Biba, as we find out, the guy with the eye patch, I believe, who was in this episode, by the way, he talks to her about completing her mission. Again, so she has a mission. We didn't know what this mission was. We didn't know what it pertained to. We just thought, okay, she just happened to be in that town. Come to find out that she has a mission that involves a Yame. I'm not going to spoil it. Watch the episode and see it. It's a very important part of the series going forward, because then you're going to start to see what happens with who trusts who. Are these liberators what we think they are? Are they heroes? Is Biba a hero, or is he a villain? We don't know. We're going to find out. Akoma clearly doesn't trust them, and I believe the rest of them are starting to just mistrust them as well, because we see Ayame and Yukina, the pink-haired girl, the thick fit chick, hit Mumei with okidoke, because Mumei demands something of them, and they give her basically a duplicate. And we find out a couple of things from Mumei as well. Mumei is very trusting of them. She assumes that they would trust her as much as she trusts them. But Biba reveals to her, like, these people don't trust you still. So it appears we're going to have to still earn their trust. That's why I'm conflicted. Biba might be a good person who's just using bad means for a good end. That could be the case. But Akoma makes a strong case for this dude being very sinister. And the reason I say that is because of what happened in this episode, where when the guy from episode 4 or 5 that met up with Mumei outside the train, that she knew previously, she knew that man because he used to be with Biba. He used to be a liberator. And I guess the liberators kicked him out. Biba kicked him out. When that man meets up with Biba on the battlefield, some interesting things happen. And Biba does something that kind of reveals a part of himself that most people don't see. And again, we see that because I believe Akoma's senses and abilities as a Kabaneri are improving. He probably didn't realize that Akoma could already see farther than a regular person, because she told him that he conducted the operation on himself, A, so he probably doesn't realize what his full skill set and whatnot as a Kabaneri is, and B, he hasn't been a Kabaneri very long. Mumei, the girl she fought with, they were Kabaneris way longer than Ikoma. So he might have just let his guard down thinking, well, this guy doesn't really know how to use his abilities or know of them yet. He can see further. And he sees this man do something evil, right? But disguising it as, oh, it's a just act, right? But he sees a grin on his face. And that his face seemed to be in one that he enjoyed what he was doing. Biba's a shady cat. We're going to have to find out more. But yeah, going back more into Ikoma and his abilities developing, we see him do something else in this episode that he's never been perceived to be able to do as well. He's able to detect the presence of Kabane. Before this point in time, the only person that could do that was Mumei. So I assume that maybe Ikoma just couldn't do it yet, or might not even be able to, because he's a different Kabaneri than her. And I think there are still different types of Kabaneri. I think that factors into the operation. We're going to have to find out more. We're 8 episodes in. I think there's only 12 episodes for this first season. So that's only 4 more episodes. Something's got to give. There's going to be an episode where they're just going to give us fact after fact after fact. There's so many more questions. But it's like they give us more information and then more questions come along with it. Like, I love that. It's like the Resident Evil lore to me. Like, where every game, like, you find out more, but then you have more questions. But it's doing a very good job of that. The only issue I'm having is that they're running out of train cars. They're running out of episodes to do this in for this first season. So hopefully this has got to get renewed for another season, or at least a long OVA afterward or something. 9 out of 10, easy. 9 out of 10 episode. This is packed with story. The action sequences are cool. Great new characters are revealed. You need to watch this episode if you have not watched this episode. Ikoma is becoming a more complicated character. I like him still, but I'm starting to see aspects of him that I can't relate to like I could before. Like, yeah, he's still that intelligent man, that man of science and reasoning and logic, but he's becoming more morally bounded and principled. And that's a problem for me because I'm not very moral. Not that I'm a bad person, I'm out here doing bad things, but I understand that morality is highly subjective and based on a lot of archaic notions and notions that I myself didn't determine for myself, but other people made up. I don't like being bound by other people's standards and rules. I come up for myself what is right and wrong. And everyone should do that. But Ikoma doesn't seem to be doing that now. He has this idea in his mind that the strong are supposed to live to fight for the weak. And we've spoken about this before because he had a discussion about this with Mumei before. And you can see Ikoma is a consistent person. He's about what he says. He's about that action. He doesn't say something and then do the opposite. No, he's very much a genuine person. So we see him now fighting for that, and he prejudged Biba before meeting him just off of that. I mean, sure, he may be right at the end, but that doesn't justify the fact that in the beginning, as soon as he met the man, he disliked him just because of his stance on how he viewed the world and what he himself taught Mumei. You can't really judge him or her. I mean, the world is in a bad state. People are doing really bad things. I noticed some of the scenery when they were fighting the Kabane in this episode, when the liberators were fighting the Kabane, for some reason it didn't look like heroes fighting villains. It almost looked as if the liberators were slaughtering the Kabane and enjoying it. It almost looked like the Kabane, in some instances, some of those, they look like victims. Like there was one where there was a female Kabane. Obviously she's a Kabane, so she's still a threat. But the dude just shoots, and she's like crawling on the floor and reaching out. Dude just shoots her straight in the heart. Takes her out. Dudes are just lopping their hands and heads and stuff. I'm like, and they don't they don't view life and death the same as regular people. Even the one that is one of the human liberators gets bitten. As soon as he gets bitten, he looks over to his partner and says, protect them and keep them safe. And his partner nods his head at him. Immediately pulls out suicide bag, bam, done deal. I'm like, yo, that's dedication to a cause. I respect that. But something about that fight scene, and maybe comment below, let me know what you guys thought. Maybe I'm crazy in this, but something about the liberators and the way they're fighting the Kabane seems like they enjoy it. And that's not necessarily wrong. I mean, it really isn't, but it's just a little odd to me. I don't think that they're fighting just for the sake of everyone. I think a lot of those people that are liberators are fighting because they enjoy fighting. And again, nothing wrong with that, but I don't know that the people know that. And these people put them on this pedestal. They look at them like they're heroes. Biba is treated like Jesus to these people. Also, there's some similarities between Biba and Ikoma, which is ironic to me that they don't get along. Because one of the first things we see Biba doing is he himself is working on a Koutetsujou. He's working on a train to fix it because something happens. And then Coleman offers him help, and that's when they start talking. So it's like, this man is clearly not just some savage fighter. He's an intelligent man. He's an engineered mind man like you. You would think that they would have a lot in common, but because of this one thing, their view on the world and how the strong and the weak interact, Como immediately judged him badly. And now Biba probably sees him as a threat, as we see when he approached him in this episode. It is not revealed or made clear whether or not Biba is a Kabaneri. So comment below and let me know what you think. I personally don't know. I think that he is, but I mean, he has a blade like Koutetsujou. If he was a Kabaneri, would he need that blade? I assume Koutetsujou has that blade because he doesn't, as a human, he doesn't have the means of killing one of them in terms of like regular weaponry and human strength. He needs something that excels that. So he has the blade that actually can puncture the heart of a Kabaneri. So this guy, Biba, has that. So is he a Kabaneri? I think that he is, but maybe he isn't. Then again, one of the Kabaneri women used the blade just like it. So maybe that doesn't mean anything. I think I'm leaning toward him being a Kabaneri. And I think there's something weird. He seems to have a bloodlust about him. He's an interesting character. Biba is really, because in the short amount, they've done a really good job introducing him and making him an interesting character. So comment below, let me know if you think he is a Kabaneri or if not. Comment below, let me know what you thought of this episode, what you think of the series overall, any theories you might have. Like, I'm theorizing right now that he's a Kabaneri, and I'm theorizing that he might be a Kabaneri that's slowly turning into a Kabaneri. Who knows? His mind might not be right. Something is weird about him. Let me know what you thought about Mumei's origin story below as well. The whole idea of her mother being weak. That's what Biba tells her, and that's why she died. Which is kind of ironic to me, because she died protecting Mumei. So she died protecting her child. As a mother, that would make her a strong person, wouldn't it? If you die for your family, if you die for your children as a parent, especially as a mother, how can you be weak? That's odd to me. Let me know what you think about that as well. Just give me comments below. Hit the like button. Really hit the subscribe button. Yeah, spread the word about the channel. I'm making improvements already. I actually, before I started recording this video, I ordered a better camera for videos. Hopefully I get it here by next Thursday. But who knows what it's supposed to be coming between Thursday and next week Monday. Hopefully it comes before Thursday so I can use that and exit video. But yeah, I'm making improvements. The next thing I'm gonna get is a better microphone, and then I'm gonna be stepping it up a lot. I played a whole bunch of Paragon yesterday, and I have a bunch of footage to upload. I'm gonna be making some videos and clips for my Paragon play and uploading that. I might do a compilation of my Uncharted 4 gameplay and upload that. I need to do Quantum Break as well and upload that. So there's a lot more footage coming, especially gaming stuff. Combo Breaker, the fighting game community event, was this weekend. I watched that. I might do a video talking about that. I need to just do a video talking about fighting game stuff. I love fighting games in the fighting gaming community, so I need to get in on that. But yeah, like I said, the channel's improving already. New camera on the way. It's in the mail. Well, it might not be in the mail, but it's ordered. I ordered it a couple hours ago, so that's coming. And it's a way better camera than the one that I'm using now. And then after that, I'm gonna get a microphone so that, again, the quality can improve. If you have feedback about how I do my videos or anything like that, or suggestions for equipment that I should get or look at, comment below. If you have suggestions for anime or manga you want me to read or watch and review, comment below, or give impressions on, comment below. If you have video games you want to see me play on stream, because I stream as well, twitch.tv/HatedGreatness. No, there is an underscore. I don't know why I said no underscore. There is indeed an underscore. Comment below. And like always, thank you for watching. It's your boy Hated.